Frederick Douglass said it's easier to rebuild strong children than to rebuild broken men. So with Trinity Team, we're going back to the future, and I'm gonna build on that little boy that's inside of me and make him strong so we can help the future. But all 2023 know that Trinity Team here to make a movement. Let's go back to the future. Imagine waking up one day being told that people in other countries are dying from a deadly disease, and that your country may be next, and that they don't have a cure for it. All while being homeless, living out your car, and pretending to be okay while on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Well, I had $1,500 left to my name, and I was about to do something stupid, like go buy drugs and try to flip them to sell, because I felt like God wasn't hearing my prayers. And even though I know of God, I didn't actually know him at the time. So in the midst about to throw my life away over something stupid, I get a call from this brother telling me that he has a plan, that he has a house full of electronics, and that he's selling electronics, and that he wants me to sell electronics with him, and that he's willing not only to front those electronics to me, but he's willing to put my name on the paperwork if I agreed to stay out of trouble and if I agreed to do more business with him. Well, it's a win-win situation for me. What did I have to lose? So of course I said yes. And it was the smartest decision I ever made. And I found out later as I got deeper in my faith that that brother was sent from God, not only to be my friend, but to be one of my brothers. And that's how you have Electronaholics, Bounce of the South, and 3 Ps in a podcast if we're going to be exact. But let's get right to it. And before that, you had Hawthorne's computer repair. So first of all, thank you for being here. Some of y'all know him as Mike Lowry. Others know him as Davion. Others know him just from being a local comedian. But I'm going to get right into it. So being 7 years younger than me, how and why did you get into running your own business so young, brother? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, I can explain. Yeah, so I started my own business, which was the my first legal business was the computer repair. I started that because I went to college and I went there to be a computer IT. I got out, finished all my classes on information, and then I tried to get me a job, and it was like I didn't have no experience, and I couldn't get none. I'm like, okay, so I spent 4 years in college, and y'all want to hire me because I ain't got no experience. So, my father told me, what I should do is I should do computers on the side, to build up my skills and
Mm-hmm.
put it on my resume, and that's how jobs will hire me. So what I did was I just did that, and that just led to me doing my own business as I seen how I was progressing, how I see clients, off Google because a lot of places I see how they be charging people arms and a leg to fix something
Mm-hmm.
simple. So I just continue to have my own business to do that to support clients, who can't afford, pay $300 just to fix something very simple, which is like viruses and stuff like that. So that's how that started.
Okay. And I'm going to share something else with the audience that those that are close to me know, but the others may not know. At one point, I owed the IRS thousands of dollars. I'm talking in the 50 grands. I just ignored it because I really didn't care about my life out that time anyway. So I ignored
Right.
everything. Well, when my brother put me in a game with getting a EIN number and putting my name on all this stuff and teaching me how to actually run a business, he also put me in a game with his accountant. So he was like, look, get your life back on track. You can't ignore the IRS because they come in regardless. So this is what I need you to do if you are going to run with me. So my second question to you, again, it piggybacks off the first. How does someone so young get into taxes and things of that nature?
For Texas, so everybody's different. For me, it was more like a one-to-one. So people who want to get into that, I recommend them to take classes. Like for me, it's simple. Different people have different ways of learning. Me, I'm more of a hands-on. So once I see it, I can just catch on fast. But yeah, I would recommend, taking those classes to learn about all the forms and not just the
Mm-hmm.
W-2s, because there's other forms, that goes with tax documents. So that's the best way to learn to get into that.
Okay. My third question, and I don't owe the IRS anyway anymore, y'all. So by the way, that's cleaned up, and I actually saw a tax return last year. Um, but how did you get into comedy and skits to the person that we know now?
Man, that's a good question. When I started that, you know what? It was September 2021. I'm gonna tell y'all my background. So, prior to doing comedian, I was only just working, fixing electronics, computers, or selling electronic items, like AirPods, tablets, stuff like that. But I seen this post one day. Now I don't know the dude name. He's a comedian. I don't know his name, but I seen the post one day. It was like this dude. He makes $750,000 per post. It's
Mm-hmm.
the dude. It's the dude who do this. He's like, what I'm talking about. You might
Yeah,
know who he is.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I seen that post. They said that he make that much, and I'm like, he's not really funny to me because he do the same exact thing every day, every
Mm-hmm.
post. So it's like it gets old. So I was like, what? He make that much? If he can do it, if he do that, make that much, then I can be a comedian and get some money. So I just started doing voiceovers. I
Mm-hmm.
listen to the audio, and then I just think of relatable scenarios that happens in real life or something that anybody can relate to or laugh to, and then I go with the flow, and then I just start getting better and better at it, and then at first I was camera shy, but as I seen the people, they comments, they likes, the laugh, the comments I get, even though I get negative comments, but those is what build up my confidence to be a
Okay.
local comedian. So that's how that started.
And I know you're Texas grown, but where did you grow up in Texas and in what neighborhood?
Oak Cliff. So I'm from Oak Cliff. I'm from Holland Hills. So I'm from the hood. Most folks don't see it because as a child, growing up, I taught myself, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be like, I still show that side, if I'm mad or whatever, but to present, I don't show that side. I want to be more professional, more of a business person. So they don't see that side. But yeah, I'm from the
Okay.
hood.
So Dallas Oak Cliff Hood. How did that childhood shape you into the person that you are today? I'm talking about growing up in Oak Cliff.
Um, so most folks might find this hard to believe, but I grew up based off movies. So one movie that was an eye opener to me was Will Smith. So Will Smith had a movie that is called Pursuit Life of Happiness.
Mm-hmm. With him and his son, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in college, I was in college. Now, even though I was still in college, I still had me a job. But that movie was an eye opener because for me looking at movies, I tell myself that I don't want to grow up and be that type of person. So those movies is what helped me. So that movie to where he was struggling, living, living like in, from shelter to shelter, or at the train station inside the bathroom in the sun, seeing stuff like that. Even though I never encountered that, but it kind of hurt me, because I can feel that pain. So those type of things is what taught me to be the person I am, even though I'm from the hood. Watch movies from the hood, like Menace to Society. All you see is people getting shot up, and
Right.
I'm like, you know, I don't want to live that type of life, people be like, oh, you in the hood, all this, oh, you can't be snitching, all that stuff. So, that is what made me. move myself from that environment because living that type of lifestyle, you can't
Mm-hmm.
grow nowhere. So all those watching those movies and the stuff that I deal with living in the hood, that is what made me to the person I am today. Yeah,
Okay. And I know you, your fiance, and your son on a personal level,
yeah,
obviously.
right.
So for the young men that look up to you, for even the old men that look up to you, because like I said, you did a lot for me, and my hat will always go off to you, being 7 years younger than me, but still teaching me stuff that I should have learned previously. But because I was one of them in the hood and didn't want to do right, I got
Mhm.
it late, but I still got it nonetheless. But to the young men who want to run a business and take care of family, what advice would you give them?
Um, it's time management. That's one thing you got to learn how to do time management. How to, you got to have time with your family, and then you also gotta have time to provide for your family, make money. So it's all time management. It's easy, but it can also be stressful. But all I can say is don't give up. You know, you got to be consistent with it.
Okay.
Sometimes, it can, one day it can be good, one week it can be bad, but just don't give up. Life can be hard, but it's all about time management between work and your family.
Yes, sir. And you also get a lot of flack, and I mean this respectfully, for being soft spoken and always having like female topics and all of that. And
Mhm.
I read the comments. I know they say we shouldn't, but you got like a lot of haters in the comments that question the way you move and mannerism and all that. What do
Yeah,
you have to say to them?
man, I ignore them, bro. I ignore them completely. Like I see those, some of them I laugh at because they don't know who I am. Like I'm a
Mm-hmm.
comedian, so if I'm a comedian, I'm gonna do things that make people laugh. So I don't let none of that bothers me. Now, if they know what the name Mike Lowry means, then they'll understand I'm a ladies' man. So all that other stuff, I don't even worry about that because if you're in my town, I'm gonna get you. So all that he this and all that stuff, I don't worry about that, bro. 'Cause
All
I can
right.
tell you this, like that. I just ignore it.
All right. And down south, we grow up God fearing, even though we don't follow it all the time. We know there's a higher power than us, and we know God is real. So, from a
That's right.
personal standpoint, I want to know what's your walk with God, and how do you know He's real to you?
Man, Mine's all started when I was a child. Um, I've been going to church since I was a kid. Now, a lot of people now, um, as a kid, yeah, mine started as a kid. Man, I even know the books of the Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth. I
Right,
know
right.
all that. I know all that. So I have a special relationship with God. Now, even though I don't really speak about it to people, but I have a special relationship. Now, how I know God is real, and as a kid, let me tell you my testimonies. I have a lot of them. Now, when I was a kid, I remember this one day, and I always remember this. I got in trouble. It was for something simple because I was with my cousin house for a long time. I didn't come home, and
Mhm.
my family was getting ready to go to the fair, and my mom said I couldn't go. And I got in trouble and got a whooping, whatever. And I just sat in my room. I read the Bible and I just prayed. And out of nowhere, I just went to the fair. You know what I'm saying? That's one. So I'm like, okay, that's one. And I'm gonna tell you two. Let me tell you two. Now this one, this one, I really love because this one it opens up a really special relationship with me and God. So when I first got my own place and my first job, I was working at a
Mhm.
retail store. It was at Lowe's. And you work at retail, your hours can go up and down, right?
Right.
And I had my first apartment. My apartment was cheap. My rent was $3.99 for a one bedroom. It was big. It's cheap. I was living it. I didn't have a car at the time, but I had a good place. I had my own
Right, right.
job, everything, everything good. And then it got to the point to where they start cutting the hours. This is when Obama was president. Something I forgot. Something happened, but and then they just start cutting the hours. So I was only getting 25 hours a week. So that means that they was only making me go in the office for 5 hours. To the store for 5 hours per day.
Hmm.
And at this time, I had a roommate, and I was stressed because I had rent, and then you got the high light bill and water bill, and I was telling her about it, whatever, my roommate, and then she told me, you got too much pride. You have to let that pride go and let God deal with it. And that is exactly what I did. I just let it go, and I just prayed, and and then all he did, I just got more hours, new jobs, more income.
Right.
So ever since that day, I have a special relationship with him. So anytime I struggle or go through things, I don't let that stress me out no more because I already know that, he has something planned for me. So I try to, teach that to others, to have faith, you know, and
Hmm.
not have so much pride, because you have somebody who's out there for you, God, you just have to believe in that.
Okay.
So that's my relationship I have with him. So every Sunday, I have to worship God, even if it's online. So at 11 o'clock, between 11 and 1 o'clock, I'm on D&D because that's my time with God every Sunday.
I love that, man. All right. So my final question, and it's for the people who want to, whether they want to book you for comedy, follow you, anything, all the stuff that we do. Where can they find you on social media? IG, Twitter, Facebook, any TikTok, all of your handles. Where can they find Mike Lowry?
Well, for a fact, they can't book me because I'm still stage fright and I can't do that yet. But for a comedian, well, I have two type of platforms. So I have one for podcast to where I just ask short questions. They're just provoking questions. Interesting topics. And I voice my opinion. Sometimes I have special guests that voice their opinions. So if you want to listen to that, you can follow me at Evening Talks with Mike Lowry. Or I also have my comedians. It's either on IG or TikTok, and that is Mike Lowry 8732.
Okay.
Now, if they do follow me, I just wanna, just give a message. What I post, don't take it too serious. It's just relatable or it's just funny. So I'm just here to make people laugh, not to make people mad or anything like that. So if you're having a bad day at work, you need some laughter, this might make you laugh. Just watch one of those videos. It'll crack you up, make your day.
Well, thank you, brother, man. I thank you for coming and bless the show, and I appreciate it, brother.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right, you have a good one.
And to anyone out there who's second guessing themselves about starting a side business, do it. You have to believe in yourself. As a kid, I didn't have nothing. I had friends who had Nintendo 64s, PlayStations. I didn't have much. So I started hustling. I would sell the Debbie snack cakes around the apartments just for 50 cents. Back then, the big boxes was $1. So I would make money for myself just to buy my own game system. As I got older, I kept selling snacks and candy and chips in middle school and high school, just to keep money in my pocket. So if you're tired of working for someone and just bringing on one source of income, this is your time to figure out what is your passion. Ask yourself, what service do people need? And as T.I. said in the movie ATL, you ain't got to be a dope boy just to have money. It's out there waiting for you. It's like a scavenger hunt. You just have to find it. Go get it.